Hey, what's up, everybody? Chicago Goon here, bringing another Arsenal talk. In this Arsenal talk, I'll just be covering the Burnley game and then the upcoming FA Cup tie to when we go to Wembley for the FA Cup semifinal against Reading. Because there's not really much to talk about, honestly. Watching that Burnley game, it was kind of like a snooze fest in a way. There wasn't much excitement in the game. There wasn't much like high tempo. There wasn't much like the attacking sense that we're used to. Coming off of the Liverpool game where we were just it was just like wave after wave of attack against Liverpool. Granted, yes, it's at home, but at the same time, this is a Burnley side who is well organized. Obviously, um, they've been well organized throughout most of the season. They really wear their heart on their sleeve and play with a lot of heart and passion and stuff like that. But it was just it was really just like a boring game to watch, to be honest with you. There's not too many times that you can actually say that about Arsenal, especially whether you've been a fan for years or a couple decades. Especially under Arsene Wenger. There's not too many times where you can just say that was a boring game to watch because there wasn't really much going on. Again, Aaron Ramsey with the goal in the 12th minute. Mesut Ozil put it on goal. The goalkeeper parried it away. There was a couple nicks here and there, and then Aaron Ramsey ended up slamming it into the back of the net. Right place, right time. That's kind of Aaron Ramsey's mo, his method of operation. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time most of the time. But I'm still not happy with the fact that he's playing the right wing. When we have guys like Welbeck, and I know we're trying to put the best 11 on the field um, every single game. I understand that, but at the same time, you're giving up a lot of talent, or in that game, you with Aaron Ramsey playing on that right side, we're missing a little bit of pace. A player that can take on a defender and make something happen out of nothing, like with Danny Welbeck or even like a Theo Walcott, who can easily get behind a defense like that when they are parking the bus. We had chances here and there, but it was just kind of comfortable. It wasn't Burnley had maybe a half a chance here and there, but for the most part it was I mean it was just comfortable, to be honest with you. Defensively, and we were well organized as well. Once we nicked that first goal, it just seemed like throughout the rest of the game we were happy just with that. We were happy with the 1-0, and we would walk out with 3 points. Olivier Giroud, he wasn't. It's not really his fault. He had. I wouldn't even say he had a poor game. The guys just weren't getting him involved at all. There was plenty of times where he had to come up all the way from basically the 18-yard box all the way 20 yards out just to get a touch on the ball. He didn't get a lot of touches on the ball today, other than trying to hold the ball up and everything. I mean, he did great doing that, but other than that, no one really got him into the game, especially with a guy that's in form or a player that's in form like that and ready to score goals. There wasn't many crosses into the box. There wasn't really any type of narrow, passing going on. There was here and there were spurts here and there, but again, the guys didn't really get Olivier Giroud into the game. Um, it was basically, we played mostly wide throughout most of the game, but again, we just didn't get any crosses into the box, which is odd. Again, it just seemed like we were very comfortable of what we were doing. Early in the game, Per Mertesacker had some problems where a couple Burnley guys, I think it was Barnes and Inge, they got in behind Mertesacker a couple times, and you were kind of holding your breath a few times there throughout the first about like 10 or 15 minutes of the game. But then everything pretty much kind of settled down, and we just kind of like took it from there. It just wasn't a we never looked scared or threatened or anything like that throughout the entire game. Coughlin played his part. I mean, everybody pretty much played their part in that game to hold on to that 1-0 victory. At no time were you just like freaking out and on the edge of your seat or wherever you watch a game. You were never freaking out saying, oh God, they're going to nick a goal here or there, or they're going to come back. It just Burnley doesn't have that type of talent on their roster to really go up against a well-organized Arsenal side and nick a goal. I mean, could it happen? Sure, but Burnley's they just didn't look good at all today either, which is kind of maybe concerning, but it also plays in our benefit. Coming up next week we have the semi-final FA Cup tie versus Reading. It's almost kind of like a blessing that we play Burnley a week prior, just because of the fact that Reading's going to do the same exact thing. They're going to park basically all 11 behind the ball. They're going to probably try to do some kind of high pressing here and there to try to throw us off our game, to try to not let us do what we want and play our style of football. So it's almost kind of like a blessing to where we're going to see this in back-to-back weeks. So we're going to be prepared for it more than not be prepared for it, I guess you could say, which is good for us, obviously, because we're going to be going into this game, obviously confident. 8 straight, BPL wins. We haven't done that since the Invincibles. And again, the confidence should still be high, even though, Ozil didn't have the greatest game. Giroud didn't have the greatest. No one had like the greatest game. I mean, you couldn't even really pick out, maybe Ospina. He made a couple saves on one set piece and then another shot like earlier in the game. Maybe you could say he was the man of the match because no one else really kind of like really stood out, to be honest with you, and no one really just said I want to be man of the match or played to that level, I guess you can say. Not like the week prior to when we were just it was a complete onslaught and complete domination of Liverpool. But again, it's good for us that we're going to see this in back-to-back weeks, so we're going to be prepared for this. And we should be confident going into it. I think we need to attack more, obviously, in this semifinal, and not play like we did last year against Wigan, because Wigan was just it was almost a nightmare. We gave up a late PK, and then of course Mertesacker got the late goal to equalize it, and then of course it went to PKs at the end of the game, and Fabianski saved us. We can't play like that again. We have to go in there. Act like we've been there, act like we know what we're doing, act like we are the better team, and do a little bit more attacking, create a lot more chances, rather than what you saw today. Maybe the guys are thinking about it already. Maybe they're thinking about the possible next week of what it, going to the semifinal to get to the final for the second straight year. And maybe they're looking into that. Maybe they're playing maybe a little bit cautious sometimes throughout the day or throughout the game. I mean, against Burnley. So maybe that's in their thought process. And of course they're going up north to Burnley. It is a little bit of a trip, considering maybe that played a little bit of a part into it as well. Traveling and if you just you have to travel, I guess. As far as England goes, a decent distance from home, it can play its part. Hotel, you don't know what happens the night before. Guys are, on edge. They want to play, and maybe they get a little bit of jitters. Who knows? But hopefully, again, this is going to benefit us in the end, and we can just play that attacking style against Reading, and pretty much just take the gloves off and just let's go, and get us to the final once again, and possibly play in Aston Villa or even a Liverpool, because Aston Villa is playing great right now under Tim Sherwood. I mean, they went into Spurs and beat them, which is great to see. I mean, one day closer, 1 week closer to St. Tottenham's Day, which we all Arsenal fans look forward to, and it's just beautiful to see Tottenham take a shit Currently, right now, if Liverpool wins, Monday will still be 9 points clear of that fifth spot. If they lose, they end up losing to Newcastle, then we'll be, I believe, 10 points clear. I think we're currently on 66, and I believe Southampton won today, so they're on 56. So, regardless of what happens, we'll be either 9 or 10 points clear, and I mean it's pretty much game over. It's pretty much secure of our top four spot. Now we just got to keep on pushing forward because many can consider, okay, we should just concentrate on the FA Cup now because the league is pretty much kind of done. But we can't look at it that way. We have to keep on playing, and we have to keep on trying to even kind of grind out victories to learn how to win even ugly sometimes, or win boring. I guess you could say because tactically right now we're just a completely different team than what we were in the first half of the season. To where we're okay with letting teams have possession or letting teams come at us because we're so well organized now. We have the right defensive mindset now. Rather than in the beginning of the season or even in years past. But that comes with maturity of all the players and the unity, I guess you could say, of the players and how this team is really shaping up to where we can go into next season. We were on a high coming into this season, obviously winning the FA Cup, winning the first trophy in almost 9 years, winning the Community Shield, and then everything just kind of went to shit. People got injured coming off a World Cup. The tactics were wrong, running the wrong formation. Everything just seemed wrong in the first like 4 months of the season to where everything is right now. We have a plan B. We have, we're more defensive minded. Coughlin is letting, because of the emergence of Francis Coughlin, he's, just because of him, all of our attacking players can attack and they don't have to worry about what happens in the back, because he's always going to be there. Today his positioning was great. He gave the ball away a couple times. It wasn't his greatest game, but he didn't need to be great today. He made plenty of interceptions. The Aaron Ramsey goal was he started it out. He made a perfect interception. He read the ball perfectly, made a pass over. Ozil took a shot on goal, parried away. Aaron Ramsey finishes out. Again, not his greatest game, but he injected himself into the game today, and he made the plays when he needed to. But other than that, he wasn't really called upon like like last week. He was just making tackle after tackle and just killing the Liverpool attack every single time by himself. Like today, just Burnley just doesn't have the talent level to go up against us and really have a formidable attack. So, but all in all, 3 points is 3 points. Going into like next year, we won't even fucking remember this game because, honestly, I mean, Burnley is probably going to get relegated. Same with Leicester City, but the relegation zone, it looks pretty scary for some teams right now. Aston Villa, of course, won today. They are 6 points clear of the drop zone, which I mean, everybody was thinking, 4 weeks ago they're going down. They're going to the championship. Now it doesn't look like that. They have 2 games in hand that they can possibly lose. Sunderland's on 29 points, and out of any team, I really wish they would go down. I'm just kind of sick of Sunderland, and I really feel sorry for their fans. I mean, their fans were walking out of the stadium at on the 51st minute, I think. They showed that on TV that they were just walking out. They were sick of everything and the way the team is run and how the players are playing. And Hull City is on 17th right now currently. They're on 28 points, so they're only 2 points clear. So going into that last couple weeks of the season, it's going to be pretty interesting to watch that drop zone and see who gets dropped out and see who survives. And of course, it's right now it's the same 3 teams that got promoted into the BPL with Queens Park Rangers, Burnley, and Leicester City into the drop zone. But that's going to be probably more interesting to watch than almost at the end of the season. I mean, tomorrow you got the Manchester Derby, which is going to be, again, good for us. We won today. We got our 3 points. Everybody's probably thinking, okay, a draw would be great. But, again, I think Manchester City just, I think they're just due to just, unleash hell. Especially when they play Manchester United over the last, several years. They've just been whooping their ass time and time again. Um, of course, if Manchester City wins, they would go to 64 points. If Manchester United wins, they would go to 65 points. Ideally for us, you would want them to draw, because then we would be a full game ahead of them. Um, we're almost right there with Manchester City on goal differential. Chelsea is currently at 37, plus 37. They play tomorrow against Queen Park Rangers. Of course, we're on 31. Manchester United is on 27, and then Manchester City is on 33. So it's going to be, that might play into a factor of where we're going to be at the end of the season too, because it's so close between goal differential, and we've seen it, over the last like few years where goal differential does matter, and but right now we just got to keep on winning, and we have the schedule. I mean, we have after the FA Cup tie we have Chelsea, and then a few weeks later we have Manchester United, and that's all we basically have left. For the rest of the schedule we have Hull City, Swansea City, Sunderland, and West Brom. So that's all those games are winnable, especially the form that we're in. Even the Chelsea game is winnable. The Manchester United game, of course, winning there in the FA Cup tie. We have the belief that we can go up there now and win. So that's going to be like a must-win for Manchester United too. It's going to be more of a must-win for them than it is for us, just because of our current form and how our schedule shapes up right now. Because I think they still have, they have Manchester City tomorrow, and then I think they have Chelsea still to go as well. So there's possibilities there. Um, but we still need Chelsea to slip up big time. Over the next like few weeks for us to even have a chance at the league. I'm not giving my hopes up. I mean, I'm not giving my hopes up to think that we're going to win it, because Chelsea really needs to screw up. They really need to screw up pretty badly for them to drop, at least like 10 points over the next, like, 4 or 5 weeks. That's all that we have left in the season. So, but it's on the FA Cup. Again, sorry, this is probably going to be like a short episode because there's not really much to talk about, because the game was just so lackluster today, and we have the FA Cup tie against Reading, and there's really not too much to say about that either. Playing against a championship side, yeah, they're having a good run, but our run is even more impressive, and just the form that we're in, we should just be able to do whatever we want to next week, and just kick the shit out of them. But other than that, that'll be it. And have a good rest of the week, and hopefully maybe there's a draw tomorrow between United and City. But I expect City to win that game. But of course that drops down Manchester United, and we'll be 4 points clear of them, and they'll drop down to fourth. But either way, that'll be it, and I'll talk to you guys next week after the Reading game.